We are live. How's everybody doing? So this one's going to be a tough one. Before I get to this, I want to let everybody know that tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time on X at the MFing COO or at Mark Lobliner, at Rumble at Tiger Fitness, Rumble at Alan Roberts, and on Spreely, the show Evening Rants on Spreely. Mark Lobliner and I tonight will be talking with Melissa McAtee. She is a Pfizer whistleblower. She worked for Pfizer in their safety department, and she came forward with a laundry list of issues and has been in the news and everything like that. But she is going to be on our show tonight, so you do not want to miss this episode. It will not be on YouTube. YouTube is where we normally do our first half an hour of evening rants, but we decided on this one. We decided that YouTube will probably not like what the Pfizer whistleblower has to say and could nuke my channel. So we decided to keep my channel for right now. That's just what it is. But right now, I talk a lot about how the healthcare industry, the healthcare industrial complex is actually how it should be referred to, wants you sick and weak and dependent upon them. And there is a reason why they don't do lifestyle interventions. Like people develop type 2 diabetes. We're a country where people develop type 2 diabetes, and instead of saying, hey, maybe you should stay away from ultra-processed foods, sugars, and get some exercise, maybe some good sleep and hydration, maybe even some supplementation that's been shown to reverse prediabetes and diabetes, instead of trying to reverse the prediabetes and diabetes, it is just treated with many, many, many different medications, from Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound and all these things. The industry just does not want you to get healthy. They don't want you to stay healthy. That's why I often say what Mark, myself, my wife, our partners at the Ambrosia Collective, what we do is actually healthcare, because we're taking care of your health. We're helping you to take care of your health. What the healthcare industrial complex does is sick care. They want you to remain sick, and it's maintenance. And people would say, like, you don't know they want you to. Well, fiduciarily speaking, and as somebody that has written budgets for entire hospitals, just about, or at least the operational side of it, not the necessarily the testing side or anything like that, I can tell you that they don't give a fuck about you getting healthy. They don't care. They don't care if you get healthy. There'll be people in hospital. There'll be people in long-term cares, like 70-year-olds in long-term cares, that are on 15, 16 different medications. It's a flag to CMS to be on more than 9, but it's just a flag, and then they just justify it out because CMS is no better than the CDC, no better than the FDA, no better than the NIH, no better than the USDA. They're in the pockets of the food industry and pharmaceutical industry, and they want to keep you sick because then you spend the fucking money. A healthy person doesn't spend money on pharma. A healthy person does not spend money on surgeries. A healthy person does not overspend on food. Healthy people do not do those things. So it is not in their financial interest for you not to. It also leads me to this. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that we as the people should do something. There should be some agency that protects citizens against the pharmaceutical industry. It should be a part of like how it's viewed, where we need to be watching out for our rights. And if the pharmaceutical industry can enslave us, that is not being free. That is not personal liberty. And the USDA and the FDA, they work for them now. They don't work for us. They work for them. Yeah, I mean, the FDA approves cigarettes and alcohol. And don't get me wrong, I think that if you want to smoke, you should be allowed to smoke. And if you want to drink, you should be allowed to drink. And if you want to glutton yourself, you should be allowed to glutton yourself. I just think for maybe a while, maybe a couple generations, we shouldn't have shared healthcare burden. Because the shared healthcare burden portion of it is what enables them to just keep you sick. You understand that, right? Because if you're sickly, if you develop type 2 diabetes at the age of, say, 20, and instead of losing 100 pounds and getting some exercise and not eating fucking sugar like it's, your main food source, instead of doing that, if you got healthy, you'd be off those medications. But if you develop type 2 diabetes in your 20s, they've got a good maybe 40, 50 years of you being on daily medication. Think about it. And the thing is about diabetes, the older you get, the worse it's going to get. Like, it doesn't get, like, unless you make it better, it doesn't get better. The medications aren't going to help that much, especially when you have things like, well, people they prescribe metformin like it's going out of style, when berberine outperforms metformin, especially for women with PCOS. We have NC2 in Alchemy, which is this my Alchemy? We have NC2 in Alchemy right here. And by the way, use the code Evening Rants over at Ambrosia Collective. It'll get you 10% off Alchemy. It'll get you 10% off No Morbidity. It'll get you 10% off anything on the websites. Evening Rants, all one word. Evening Rants, 10% off. But NC2 has been shown in human clinical studies to reverse prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. I mean, it helps regulate blood sugar. It helps keep your blood sugar regulated. It helps with insulin sensitivity. It helps reverse that shit. It's coupled with a healthy lifestyle, and then you couple it with no morbidity, and you get control of your hunger, you get control of your eating, you get control of your hydration, your sleep, your stress relief. Have good relationships with people in your personal life. You'll be healthy, right? So, to those of you in the audience that have type 2 diabetes, did your doctor talk to you about berberine? Have they even mentioned it? Like, if you're on metformin, did they even mention berberine to you? Because there are dozens of studies that show it is just as effective with no side effects as metformin, which does have side effects, right? But even beyond that, this is a crazy ass video. I need you guys to prepare yourselves, okay? I need you to prepare. Because this is fucked up. Fucked up. Give me a second. Let me see if I can adjust this. No, it doesn't adjust like that. Okay. Here we go. Everybody hold on to your hats.
PSA for anybody. PSA for anybody who takes diabetic medication. My father passed away this week. It was caused by his diabetic medication.
I've heard things like this multiple times too, by the way.
He was on metformin for years and years and years. He had no issues with his metformin.
I would also argue, I would wonder why, since your father was on metformin for years and years and years and years, why? Like, if people are put on medications for type 2 diabetes, it should be a temporary thing. Diabetes does not have to be a lifelong medicated disease by any stretch of the imagination. Any stretch. You know? The American Diabetes Association literally tells people when they're on things like Jardiance and Wegovy and Zepbound and stuff like that, that there's no need to change their diet. The American Diabetes Association says that shit. Which, of course, they're in the pockets of pharma also, you know? But here we go.
This last year, his doctor changed him over to a new medication that's out. Starts with a J.
Jardiance.
I've seen the lady singing and dancing. And,
listen to what she has to say next. It's unfucking.
One of the side effects to this medication is called foreigner's disease.
Be careful when you look up foreigner's disease. Don't if you're Googling right now, stop.
It is a flesh-eating bacteria, gangrene, that eats you from your genitals inside out.
That's why I told you to stop. It eats you from your genitals inside out. One more time, just so everybody can grasp that. It's a form of gangrene this medication gives you that starts in your genitals. And by the way, women, you're not immune to this. It can start in your labia. It can start in, like, it's horrific. And I implore all of you, before you go Google this shit, be fucking ready. And by the way, if you're ever looking for motivation to stay off of medications like this, that's when you should Google this shit and read about it and look at the fucking pictures. It's horrific. I am scarred. Like, it is so fucking... The things I do for you motherfuckers. Oh my God. But here we go.
By the time that you see symptoms,
you're done.
It's pretty much too late.
Yep.
Most people who get it pass away. I have been doing some research on it over the last couple of
And
days.
the ones that don't pass away,
and
the ones that don't pass away, it's not good. It's not good. They may not pass away right then, but it's not going to be long.
there are class action lawsuits out there.
Yep.
But don't wait. Don't wait. One of the first
Get off that.
is a yeast infection.
Mm-hmm.
And most men don't watch for yeast infections. Hell, most women don't watch for yeast infections, but men really don't.
Yep.
So do yourself a favor. If you or someone you know is taking diabetic medication that starts with a J and has a singing and dancing commercial,
Yep.
please talk to your doctor about foreigners. Because once you know you have it, it's too late.
Yep. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't just take this young lady's word for it, and my deepest sympathies out to you, young lady. This is Jardiance. This is the important safety information. The important safety information from Jardiance are low blood sugar in adults. If you take Jardiance with another medication that can cause low blood sugar, such as insulin, your risk of low blood sugar is higher. In children 10 years of age or older, the risk for low blood sugar is higher with Jardiance, regardless of whether it's from medicine or not. And symptoms of low blood sugar include headache, drowsiness, weakness, dizziness, confusion, irritability, hunger, fast heartbeat, sweating, shaking, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of crazy. Let's look at some of the other ones real quick. Diabetic ketoacidosis, which is basically increased ketones in your blood, come out through your urine. People with type 1 and another ketoacidosis. Dehydration, it's very easy to become dehydrated on these medications. A vaginal yeast infection. Yeast infection of the skin around the penis. And serious urinary tract infection. Back to low blood sugar. Oh, and here's necrotizing fasciitis. A rare but serious bacterial infection that causes damage to the tissue under the skin in the area between and around your anus and genitals. This bacterial infection has happened in people who take Jardiance and may lead to hospitalization, multiple surgeries, and death. Seek medical attention immediately if you have a fever or feeling very weak, tired, or uncomfortable, malaise, and you develop any kind of the following symptoms of around your anus or genitals: pain or tenderness, swelling or redness in skin. Amputations. This drug may cause increase your risk of lower limb amputation. Odd, because you're taking it for diabetes to try to avoid lower limb amputation. But if you have a history of amputation, have had blocked or narrow blood vessels, which, by the way, is almost every fat person with the blocked or narrow blood vessels, usually in your legs, have had diabetic foot infection, ulcers, or sores, call your healthcare provider right away if you have new pain or tenderness, any sores, ulcers, or infections in your legs, because this drug that they're putting you on may cause you to lose your fucking legs, and serious allergic reaction. So I don't know how many more things I need to do to rest my case that they want you sick, fat, dependent, and weak. They want it. There's this thing, right? There's this thing where it's like we can't speak out against the pharmaceutical industry. We could get in legal trouble, apparently. The FDA will come in and sue people, blah, blah, blah. I am going to state that, in my opinion, of course, the FDA is a tyrannical, horrible organization that works for people that don't have the best interest of Americans at heart. They have the best interest of their profit lines at heart. The CDC, same thing. USDA, There's a reason the USDA has been telling you to eat the foods in high quantities that would lead to you having type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, ulcerative colitis, kidney disease, liver disease, neuroinflammation, systemic inflammation, thrombosis, those sorts of things. Them telling you to eat ultra-processed foods in high quantities, the suggestion to do so for decades upon decades upon decades should be enough on its own to abolish the USDA and the FDA. The FDA has this drug approved. And I would find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe, and I wish that I could reach out to this young lady. I have it hard to believe that your father's doctor looked him dead ass in the fucking face and said, yeah, I know you're on metformin, but let's try this new medication. But just so you know, one of the risks is that your nuts might rot off. And the dad was like, yeah, where do I stick it in? Like, I mean, I have questions as to who, once given once been given informed consent, would consent. Like, who would fucking consent to something that could make your fucking nuts rot from the inside out? Who would fucking consent to that? Who would choose that instead of not eating cake? Like, if you're a person that would rather risk these medications and so you can still eat cake, you need psychological help. And they should have, like, if you're fucking 400 pounds and you're on diabetes medications and you have not lost any weight, they should be getting you a psych consult because you're clearly trying to kill yourself. If you have type 2 diabetes and you are morbidly obese and still eating like shit, you are in the throes of trying to kill yourself. How is it that I'm the fucking mean one when I'm trying to get people not to eat themselves or medicine themselves to death? I don't understand how. I really don't. I don't get it. Fucking crazy. Yeah, don't be careful. You look it up. I'm telling you. Can you help me do meal planning for being on the road during the one-off session, or is that something you think would be at least a month? I think that would be at least a month, to tell you the truth. By the way, here's where you can sign up for coaching. I mean, you can start with a consultation. We can see. But here's where you can sign up for a consultation, where you can sign up for coaching, where you can just buy the books. By the way, if you buy the books, if you just join the app, I'll send you both books for free. And you can also follow us on X, Rumble, and on Spreely, because that's where we'll be tonight to talk to a Pfizer whistleblower, literally about the pharmaceutical industry some more. I got to watch. They're going to come fucking get me. My friend with type 2 changed his lifestyle from fast food, fat food all over to healthy food, and his type 2 is almost gone. If he keeps at it, it will likely be gone. That's the thing. It will likely be gone. Yeah, I mean, and then they call it different names too, so they don't have to fully inform you. If your doctor does not explain to you all of the possible negative side effects of any drug they are suggesting to you in terms that you understand, like if they say necrotizing fasciitis and they just breeze on past, you have no idea what it is, and they don't fucking explain it to you, they should be asking you if you understand what these things are, especially when prescribing drugs. They should be saying, okay, it could cause this. Do you understand what that means? And if you say no, they should explain it to you in the language that you can understand. And if they don't do that, to me, that's medical malpractice. They have not given you informed consent. And I understand that, in 2020, we decided that, informed consent didn't need to fucking happen. I understand that, the entire healthcare industry decided to literally try to enslave the population because, newsflash, that's who was running the fucking show. They still need to give you informed consent. If I was that woman, I'd hire a lawyer. Teresa, looks like a nuclear bomb went off in somebody's underpants. Yep. Saw the pictures last night. It's fucking horrific. Horrific. I was told I was pre-diabetic 7 years ago. A1C 5.8. It took me 90 days to get 5.4 without meds. It's the food. It is the food. And great fucking job, Laura. Great fucking job. Yeah. Going after pharma, so if anything happens to you, you didn't do it to yourself, right? No, I am happily married. I love my life. I love where I live. I love what I do. I love the life that my wife and I have built for ourselves, that we get to work with each other every single day and talk nonstop. I don't ever need to leave her side. She even travels with me when I go to podcasts, because she's my favorite person and she's literally the other half of my brain. I don't function well without her. But I love my life. I love my workouts. I love where I live. I love the fact that we're raising a bunch of food. I love growing a bunch of food. I love the fact we're going to be raising food here this fall. I have lots of things to look forward to. We have an extremely fast growing podcast that's giving us all sorts of new avenues. We have extremely successful businesses, and I'm a best-selling author, and I have recovered from obesity and controlled my binging disorder to the point where I've lost and kept off 100 pounds while still remaining very athletic. I'm going to be 53 this summer. I am pretty much, on the extremely, extremely athletic side of 50-year-olds. So my husband and I are considering moving to Florida. Florida's amazing. To be fair, we also have serial suiciders, though that for our target, we're only political and fat in Poland. Yep, I've heard about that too. My brother has got type 1. His doctor kept telling him that he doesn't have to do any changes with his diet whatsoever. To a young man who eats a bag of candy in one sitting, that's disgusting. Get a new doctor. Get a new doctor for him right fucking now. That advice is going to leave your brother without his fucking feet and then dead. So get a new fucking doctor right now. Get a second opinion right goddamn now. Because that's grotesque to me. It's really, really disgusting. And especially tonight, we're going to have to, I will be filming a video stating like, hey, I'm not suicidal. I'm and I know it's half a joke, but it's not, because again, I have been saying this shit for a long time about the pharmaceutical industry and the healthcare industry, and the fact that I was a healthcare executive for a long time and know the inner workings of the healthcare industry should, I don't know, help people understand how serious I am about this. But especially tonight, we're having, I've been very outspoken about how poorly COVID was handled by our public health officials. I called it right. Everybody else was wrong. Not everybody else. I'm sure some of you were right. But anybody that said I was wrong, you guys were wrong. Even on YouTube, I got called a conspiracy theorist so much for saying shit that is 100% true, and everybody knows it. I was right, you were wrong. Most of you the people that were calling me a conspiracy theorist, the reality is you're just too fucking stupid to understand me. Like I don't like. I know I'm known for the shoulders and the fucking squatting and shit like that, but my IQ makes you guys look like fucking idiots if you actually thought I was a conspiracy theorist when I was speaking about facts, data, truth from my fucking history and like my understanding of the healthcare industry, which again, one more time, I ran probably $100 million in business in the fucking healthcare industry. I hired thousands of fucking people, including doctors, directors, administrators, food service directors, lead dietitians, diet techs, food service employees, everything. So I understand that many of you didn't want to think that I was correct because you were deep in your fucking feelings and daddy government told you to wear masks that don't ever fucking work, have never fucking worked in the history of fucking ever to stop viruses, and you didn't want to hear that. Most of you thought that 6 feet was a very serious number, like 6 feet, oh, so serious. Viruses travel on aerosolized vapor. It goes like 30 meters and it travels straight through a fucking piece of cloth, you dumb fucks. I said that too. A lot of people didn't like that. Too bad. I was right. You were wrong. So along with all those things, and then tonight having the Pfizer whistleblower come on, I'm going to have to release a video saying like, hey, I'm not suicidal. I'm very happy. We are having a Pfizer whistleblower on tonight. So if anything does happen, know that it wasn't me. Here we go. My daughter has type 1 and she can't eat what she wants. I mean, but she'll live. You know? I thought that too, but 3 months in, I agreed with you 100%. Thank you very much. I think it was like, I do understand, like, at the very beginning where people were paused, but like I said, I was in the healthcare industry. I read the data. in January and February. We went on a cruise in March. And before we went on the cruise, I'm like, hey, I want to make sure that my family's going to be safe because my son was going on the cruise with us, me and my wife. So I wanted to make sure we were going to be safe. And I'm reading all the fucking data. I'm like, okay, it's old people and fat people, just like every other upper respiratory cold, because it's a cold. And then when you look at the actual data for the seroprevalence studies, which they're antibody studies, and you realize that, well, the death rate was calculated off of an incomplete number because they're calculating the number of people dead divided by the known cases, right? The people that tested positive. But meanwhile, there was likely another, 10 times that number that tested positive that had it, because we know that asymptomatic COVID is a thing, and asymptomatic spread has never been a thing and wasn't, and they try to tell you it was. It's just not one public health official could defeat me in debate about this. They handled it incorrectly, and I could prove it. Like, with their data, I can prove it, So it's just one of those things, Again, they're going to try it again. They'll label me a conspiracy theorist again. I found you making a video about Jacqueline Adnan, and you speaking what we were all thinking is why I'm here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. The next scare will be the H1N1 bird flu. When will people start kissing chickens? It's fucking ridiculous. I started watching you 2 weeks ago, and I was down 10 pounds, got my Nomo, and I'm down 10 more pounds. Yeah, motherfucker! 5 weeks from 313 to 288. Thanks for what you do. Keep fucking crushing it, Amber. Hell yeah. Everybody congratulate her. Fuck yeah. And I'm telling you, these two right here, no joke. No joke. No, it takes away my food noise, takes away my hunger, takes away my sugar cravings, makes it so I sleep really well. Get them right now. The code, Evening Rants. Get the code, Evening Rants. Evening Rants. Boom. And use this code. Use this one. Boom. All right, folks. Now that I've discussed it all of you and grossed you all out, I just want to remind you one more time. Go follow me on Rumble, or go follow me on Twitter, or go follow us on Spreely. And we will be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, with a Pfizer whistleblower. I hope you all have a great day. God damn.